Not every senior ends up in a nursing home by choice, but many don't even realize their family is already planning it. Could your children be considering placing you in a care facility? They might not say it directly, but their actions could reveal their true intentions. Many seniors unknowingly make mistakes that cause their loved ones to see them as a burden. Over time, this can lead to decisions being made behind your back, without your input. In this video, we'll uncover 7 warning signs that your family may be thinking about putting you in a nursing home, and more importantly, what you can do to prevent it. Your independence is in your hands. Don't wait until decisions are made for you. Stay informed, take action, and protect your future while you still have control. Watch until the end to recognize the signs early and ensure that you remain in charge of your own life. Have you noticed that your family isn't calling or visiting as often as they used to? Do your children or grandchildren seem distant, always busy, or uninterested in long conversations? If your loved ones are pulling away, it could be a sign that they're emotionally distancing themselves, possibly even preparing for a difficult decision about your future. At first, the excuses might seem harmless. I've been so busy, work has been crazy, or we'll visit next weekend. But if this pattern continues, it could indicate a deeper issue. When family members start feeling overwhelmed or unsure about how to handle aging parents, their first instinct may be to disengage rather than face difficult conversations. This growing emotional distance might mean they don't know how to address your needs. Or worse, they see you as someone who requires more care than they can provide. If they've started excluding you from decisions, avoiding serious discussions, or limiting their involvement in your daily life, it may be because they are considering other care options behind the scenes. So how can you rebuild these connections and show your family that you're still an active, valuable part of their lives? The key is making your presence a source of joy, not stress. Instead of dwelling on what they aren't doing, focus on creating positive, pressure-free interactions. If conversations have become tense or one-sided, shift the energy. Ask about their lives, show genuine interest, and make time spent together enjoyable. When your family associates being around you with warmth and good memories, they will naturally want to engage more. Also, don't be afraid to reach out first. If you've been waiting for them to call, take the initiative. Send a short message, share something interesting, or invite them to do something simple: a meal, a short walk, or even a video call. The more you stay connected, the less likely they are to emotionally check out. If you're enjoying this video and want to keep learning how to stay independent and in control of your future, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Have you noticed that your family frequently complains about how much they have to do for you? Do they sigh when helping with small tasks, mention how busy or exhausted they are, or make comments like, "I just don't have time for this," or "I don't know how much longer I can do this"? While it may seem like harmless venting, these complaints could be a sign that they're feeling overwhelmed and possibly considering alternative care options, like a nursing home. When family members start to feel stretched thin, they may begin to see caregiving as a burden rather than an act of love. Even if they're not outright saying it, constant stress, frustration, or lack of patience may indicate that they are struggling to balance their own lives with your needs. The more they feel drained, the more likely they are to look for a solution. And for many, that means assisted living or professional care. If your loved ones have started making passive comments about how hard it is to take care of you, don't ignore it. This is their way of expressing that something needs to change. Instead of becoming defensive, take a step back and ask yourself, how can I make things easier for them while still maintaining my independence? One of the best ways to ease their concerns is by finding ways to stay as self-sufficient as possible. If physical tasks have become difficult, look into assistive devices that can help. Grab bars, mobility aids, or household adjustments that reduce your reliance on others. If managing household chores is overwhelming, consider hiring occasional help rather than depending entirely on family. Small efforts to maintain your independence show them that you are capable and proactive, rather than someone they have to manage. Open communication is also key. Rather than ignoring their complaints or assuming they don't care, talk to them. Ask, I know you've been under a lot of stress. How can we find a way to make things easier for both of us? This simple acknowledgement can shift the conversation from frustration to problem solving, reinforcing that you are a team rather than a burden. Finally, make sure time spent with family isn't just about caregiving. If every visit revolves around helping you, it can start to feel like a chore for them. Instead, create moments of joy, laugh, reminisce, and engage in activities together that don't feel like work. The more they associate you with positive experiences, the less likely they are to feel like caring for you is an obligation. If you've ever felt like a burden to your family, let's talk in the comments. What strategies have helped you maintain independence while staying connected to your loved ones? Now let's move on to another red flag. When your family starts making decisions about your future without involving you. Have you ever overheard your family discussing your future without including you in the conversation? Do they say things like, we need to start thinking about what's best for mom, dad? Or, I don't think they can handle living alone much longer. But never ask for your opinion. If your loved ones are making plans about your life without consulting you, it could be a sign that they're already considering placing you in a nursing home. Many families avoid direct conversations about care decisions because they fear conflict, resistance, or difficult emotions. They may feel that they know what's best for you, even if you haven't expressed concern about your current situation. Instead of talking openly, they start making decisions behind closed doors, gradually shifting control away from you. Losing control over your own future is frustrating. But there are ways to take back the conversation and ensure your voice is heard. The first step is paying attention to how your family talks about your needs. Are they making assumptions about what you can or cannot do? Are they discussing plans for your care without asking for your input? If so, it's time to step in and make your position clear. One of the most powerful things you can do is initiate the conversation yourself. Instead of waiting for them to bring up the topic, take control by saying, I know you've been concerned about my well-being. Let's sit down and talk about my future together. This shows that you are aware of their concerns, but are still capable of making your own decisions. Being proactive about your independence is also key. If your family sees you struggling with certain tasks, they may assume that you're losing your ability to live on your own. By taking steps to address small challenges, whether it's arranging occasional help, using assistive devices, or modifying your home, you can demonstrate that you are taking responsibility for your well-being, rather than waiting for them to step in. If you feel like your family is planning your future without considering your wishes, it's time to speak up. Let them know that your voice matters, and that any decisions about your care should be made with you, not for you. The more actively you participate in these discussions, the more likely your family is to respect your choices and trust in your ability to manage your own life. Do you feel like your family makes decisions for you without asking? Let's talk in the comments. Hearing your family constantly suggest that you need more help might seem like genuine concern at first. But if these comments are becoming more frequent or more insistent, it could be a sign that they're already considering alternative care options, including a nursing home. If your children or grandchildren often say things like, "Are you sure you can handle that? Maybe we should start looking for some help around the house." Or, "I think it would be safer if you had someone with you," they might already be questioning your ability to live independently. While some of these concerns may be well-intended, they can also be early warning signs that they don't think you can manage on your own anymore. One of the first things to ask yourself is, are they right? It's important to be honest about whether you do need extra help with certain tasks. If basic activities like cooking, cleaning, or remembering medications are becoming difficult, finding ways to get support doesn't mean losing your independence. The key is to be proactive before your family makes the decision for you. If your family is pushing the idea of extra help, it's worth considering why they feel this way. Are they seeing you struggle with daily activities? Have you had a recent fall, injury, or health scare that made them feel uneasy? Sometimes, a single incident, like forgetting an important appointment or having difficulty lifting something, can make family members start thinking about long-term care options. If they believe you're not safe living alone, they may start looking at assisted living, home caregivers, or even a nursing home, even if you don't agree that it's necessary. This is why demonstrating your independence is so important. If you want to stay in control of your future, you need to show your family that you are still capable of managing your daily life. Instead of arguing that you don't need help, prove it through actions. A great way to do this is by making small adjustments to your routine that make daily life easier without giving up independence. If mobility is becoming an issue, installing grab bars in the bathroom or using a walker when needed can prevent falls, showing your family that you're taking your safety seriously. If housework is getting overwhelming, hiring someone to clean once a week can give you extra support without needing full-time care. Taking small steps to adapt to challenges rather than ignore them proves that you are still in control of your life. Staying socially active is another powerful way to show your family that you are engaged and independent. If they see that you're still meeting with friends, running errands, and taking care of yourself, they'll be less likely to assume that you need outside help. Joining a community group, attending church activities, or participating in fitness classes for seniors can help reinforce the idea that you are still thriving on your own. If your family is frequently bringing up nursing homes, assisted living, or hiring a caregiver, don't ignore it. Instead, address their concerns directly. You can say something like, "I appreciate that you care about my well-being, but I want to stay independent for as long as possible. Let's talk about ways I can make small changes so you don't have to worry about me." This lets them know that you acknowledge their concerns, but are also committed to staying in control of your own life. Finally, if you truly feel that their concerns are misplaced, show them through action. Be mindful of how you present yourself in front of them. If you're constantly mentioning aches and pains, forgetting things, or asking them for small favors, they may interpret this as a sign that you're struggling. Instead, focus on what you can do rather than what's difficult. Your independence is in your hands. Taking a proactive approach, both in how you handle daily challenges and how you communicate with your family, can make all the difference in keeping you out of a nursing home and in control of your own future. If you're finding this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss new tips on staying independent and in charge of your life. If your family has recently been pushing you to sign legal or financial documents, you should pay close attention to their motives. While estate planning is a normal and responsible step, if your loved ones are suddenly pressuring you to sign over power of attorney, update your will, or transfer assets, it could be a sign that they are making decisions about your future without your full consent. Many seniors assume that their family has their best interests at heart, but in some cases, pressure to sign documents may be tied to a plan to move you into a nursing home. Giving someone financial or legal control over your assets can make it easier for them to place you in care without your full agreement. One of the biggest red flags is when family members insist that changes need to be made quickly. If they say things like, "It's just a precaution," or "This is for your own good," without giving you time to think or consult a lawyer, you should proceed with caution. No major financial or legal decision should ever be made under pressure. Another warning sign is when they discourage you from seeking outside advice. If they don't want you to involve a lawyer, financial advisor, or trusted friend, they may be trying to prevent you from fully understanding the consequences of what they're asking you to sign. This is a serious red flag that should not be ignored. So how can you protect yourself and stay in control of your future? The first step is to never sign anything without fully understanding it. If your family asks you to sign a power of attorney, update your will, or make changes to your assets, insist on reviewing the documents with a legal professional. If they resist or say it's unnecessary, that's a sign that something might not be right. Second, keep copies of all important documents in a secure place and make sure you know exactly what has already been signed. If you're unsure whether changes have already been made without your knowledge, Consult an attorney immediately to review your legal and financial situation. Finally, consider appointing a neutral third party, such as a trusted lawyer or financial advisor, to help manage your affairs, rather than handing full control over to a family member. This ensures that your decisions are protected and that no one can make choices on your behalf without your explicit consent. Your financial security should always be in your hands. If you ever feel pressured to sign something you don't fully understand, take a step back and get professional guidance. If you're finding this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on protecting your independence and staying in control of your future. Have you noticed that your family is becoming less helpful around the house? Do they ignore your requests for assistance, dismiss your concerns, or make you feel like an inconvenience? If your loved ones have stopped offering support or seem to be making daily life harder instead of easier, it could be a sign that they're hoping you'll reach a breaking point and agree to move into a nursing home. Some families, instead of openly discussing their concerns, subtly create an environment that makes independent living feel impossible. They may stop helping with groceries, refuse to assist with home maintenance, or downplay issues like mobility challenges, expecting you to struggle until you realize that you can't live alone anymore. Another warning sign is deliberate neglect of your needs. If your family used to check in regularly, help with small tasks, or make sure you had everything you needed, but now they leave you to manage everything on your own, they may be hoping that you'll come to the conclusion that you need assisted care. Instead of forcing the decision themselves, they may be waiting for you to give up and ask for help moving into a facility. In some cases, this can even border on emotional manipulation. If they respond to your concerns with phrases like, "You can't expect us to do everything for you," or "Maybe you'd be happier somewhere with more help," they might be planting the idea of a nursing home in your mind, without directly saying it. So how can you take back control and maintain your independence? The first step is identifying areas where you truly need help versus areas where your family may be exaggerating the problem. If physical tasks like cleaning or yard work are difficult, consider hiring occasional help or using assistive tools rather than depending on family members. This shows them that you are still capable of managing your life without needing a full-time care facility. Another important step is setting boundaries. If your family is making life harder on purpose, call them out on it. Say something like, "I've noticed that you've stopped helping with things you used to do. If you have concerns about my ability to live here, let's talk about it directly rather than making things harder for me." This forces an open discussion instead of allowing them to push you toward a decision passively. Creating a safe and independent living environment is also key. Modifying your home with grab bars, better lighting, non-slip mats, and easy-to-use appliances can make daily life easier, without needing a nursing home. If your family sees that you're taking proactive steps to ensure your own safety, they'll be less likely to assume that assisted living is the only option. If you feel like your family is pushing you toward a decision you don't want to make, don't let them control the narrative. Stay firm in your choices, show them that you can live independently, and demand open communication about your future. Have you ever felt like your family was subtly encouraging you to move into a care facility? Let's talk in the comments. If you've noticed some of these warning signs in your own life, it's time to take action. Your family may already be considering placing you in a nursing home, but that doesn't mean the decision has to be made for you. By recognizing the subtle, or not so subtle, signals early, you have the power to shift the narrative and prove that you are still capable of living independently. We've talked about 7 major red flags that suggest your family might be planning your growth future without including you in the conversation. From avoiding your calls and limiting visits, to constantly mentioning that you need more help, to pressuring you about financial documents or making life at home more difficult. These behaviors may be signs that they don't believe you can take care of yourself anymore. But here's the truth. Your independence is in your hands. If you want to stay in control of your life, the best thing you can do is show your family that you are still capable proactive, and responsible for your own well-being. Start by demonstrating that you are still active and engaged in your daily life. Whether that means taking care of small home improvements, staying socially connected, or managing your health through regular checkups and exercise. These things prove to your family that you are not helpless. If they see you maintaining a fulfilling, independent lifestyle, they will be less likely to assume that you need outside care. Open and honest communication is also key. If you suspect that your family is making decisions without you, bring it up directly. Instead of waiting for them to push you into a conversation, initiate it yourself. Let them know that you appreciate their concern, but that you want to be part of any discussions about your future. Taking control of the conversation shows them that you are still capable of making informed choices about your own life. Finally, create a plan for your future on your own terms. That may include modifying your home to make everyday tasks easier, organizing your finances so you remain in control, or even researching alternative care options that allow you to stay in your home longer. When your family sees that you are thinking ahead and making smart decisions, they will be less likely to take those decisions out of your hands. Your independence is not something that can be taken away. It's something that you protect by staying involved, aware, and proactive. Show your family that you are still in control of your life, and you can ensure that your future remains your own choice.